You know what? I'm going to share something with you that I really don't want you to tell anyone. And this is something personal to me, and I just, can I count on you not to share it? Have you ever had anyone tell you something like that, and then you shared it? Or have you ever said something like that to someone else, and then they spread that gossip? They told someone. What's that done to your trust for them? What's that done for the relationship? We're going to be talking about on this video how you can keep that trust, you can build trust. And we're going to be talking about the powerful, negative powerfulness, I don't know if there's a better way to say that, but with gossip. Gossip is very, very dangerous. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons about being trustworthy, how you can do that, and how it really goes a long way. So I want to first start talking about what it says in the Bible in Proverbs 11:13. It says, "A gossip goes around telling secrets, but those who are trustworthy can keep a confidence." Are you trustworthy? Can you keep someone else's secrets? And I've been doing business coaching, consulting, training for a lot of years. In fact, I've done between 10,000 and 20,000 paid sessions. I don't know how many I've done that I haven't got paid for because I just like to help people. But the reality is, one of the reasons people get such great results when I work with them is I keep the confidence. I don't share what they share with me. And you know what? They know that, and they can trust me, and they feel safe. And I don't even share it with the people closest to me if I know it's something confidential. So we're going to talk about not only just that fact, but how can you do it? And if you do violate it, what's it going to cost you? So first off, if you violate confidence and you gossip, that relationship can be over very quickly. And just put yourself in that position. If you have violated someone's confidence, it's probably the last time they shared that with you, or shared something with you, something very important to them. And I have some close family members that if you tell them, know that it's going to go out to anyone and everyone because they don't have a lot of other things to do, so they gossip. They tell me about lots of other people's lives and what's going on, so I know they're doing the exact same thing with me if I share anything, so I don't share things that are confidential because I know better. Well, you have to be very careful with who you share things with. So one, you want to become that person that someone can share something with, but then you also want to make sure that you're very aware of who you're sharing things with. So here's a lesson from business. And in business, they call it an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. And many times a company will make you sign that even if you're very, trustworthy. But so everyone knows that this is something you can't tell. And they will also say if it's readily known to, let's say, the general public, then you can share it. But if the general public doesn't know it, like your policies, your procedures, your secrets, how you do things, your financial situation in a company, whatever it may be, that's why people have you sign an NDA. And, I've had people in the past, they were under an NDA and they were working with me and for me. And I had one gentleman, he violated that. He went to someone on my team and tried to hire them behind my back, and he had a no solicitation on that. Whenever I found that out, and we were, by the way, in a big business deal together, I quit working with them. It's like, if I can't trust you, I'm not going to work with you anymore. And you may have had something like that happen before, but I'm going to read a very famous, really NDA violation and a lawsuit and all that came from this. But Anthony Lewandowski, and this was versus Google versus Uber, and Lewandowski, if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, was a former Google engineer, and he was accused of stealing trade secrets related to self-driving car technology before leaving to go work at Uber. Well, his actions violated the confidentiality agreements they had in place. You know what the consequences were? Google sued Uber, leading to a $250 and $45 million settlement. And Lewandowski was also criminally charged. He pled guilty and was sentenced to 18 months in prison. So in business, it means a lot. In personal, it means a lot. It could cost you a tremendous amount if you start just telling people everything. And you want to be very well aware of that. And again, if I wanted to open up, and I never would, but if I wanted to open up, I have people tell me all sorts of things I know that they don't want to get out there. And why? Because we all need a safe place. So be that safe place, and also make sure you have a safe place and don't mistake it for some place that is not safe. Now, if someone's going to be harmed physically, or maybe let's say someone's going to harm themselves or someone else, then I would approach that person and say, hey, I've got to say something to someone. And this has gone too far, or whatever it may be. But make sure that your word is your bond. That will build credibility and it'll help you avoid conflict. So one thing you have to do is identify if you have this tendency. Do you like gossip? Do you like knowing the details and hearing about that person and what they're doing and not doing and all of that? I know a lot of people feed on this. They get addicted to it. So if you recognize what gossip will do and not keeping that confidence, one, you have to be aware of it, but make sure that if you have a tendency that you take a step back and say, this is not good. And I've had people around me that want to tell me all about what's going on and all sorts of different things, and I hope you do what I do. I just stop it. It's like, I really don't need to hear that. I don't want to hear that right now, but they're wanting to say the negative stuff that's going on all around, and I kind of look at it like this, and maybe you want to do something like this. If I can't change it, if I can't affect it for the good, then I don't really even want to know about it. We only all have so much energy and so much time in our lives, and if we spend that energy gossiping or talking about all the things we can't control, then we're going to waste that energy and that time when it could have been productive on something that could really make a difference. So recognize in yourself if you have that tendency. And I've already mentioned this a couple times, but here's a tip, just being very specific on it. Manage the confidentiality in your inner circle. And even though the people in my inner circle, and we'll just talk about our company specifically, I trust them more than anyone on the planet. I trust, and a lot of them are my family members and my close family, and I trust them. But you know what? We all have signed confidentiality or non-disclosure agreements and confidentiality agreements with our company. Why did we do that? It keeps us all from just telling everyone what we're doing and how we're doing it, why we're doing it, and it's no one's business what we're doing as far as the secrets and how we get all the stuff done that we get done and our technology that we use. And you know what? It also, quite frankly, it gives every one of us something to say, well, I really can't talk about that because I'm under an NDA. And they really are, and so am I. And I found myself wanting to share because I'm an open person. And I give away a lot because I want to help people. So sometimes out of my wanting to help people, I've had to learn over the years going, you still better be very careful and not just give away everything, because if you do, you're violating that confidentiality agreement. So it's in place for me as well as all the other people on our team. So out of even goodness, we're not just giving away things. And there's people, quite frankly, that will drag out information that you shouldn't be giving out. So be very aware that you need to keep your word. If something is confidential, then don't go talking about it. And here's what you want to do, some just simple practical steps. Stop, think, take a step back. Ask if that information is for you to share. Did they tell it to you in a confidentiality like setting or agreement? And if you're not sure, you should ask the person, is it okay if I share this? But take a step back before you just open your mouth and let everything come out. Pause for a minute. Think before you speak. Again, avoid gossip traps. There are certain people, and I'll use one as I wrap it up here. I remember working for this company. It was a really good company, But I watched the people that were doing the same position that I did at the time, and they would walk around and talk to people about their lives and what's going on here and that person, and so much. It was, to me, it was just gossip. They were just chit-chatting all the time. You know what I did? I would do that every once in a while to make sure that I had a connection with people, but I would work. I would come in and actually do what I was getting paid for. And you know what? Most of those people ended up getting let go not too long down the road, within 6 months. You know what happened with me? They doubled, almost doubled my base and started giving me more commissions. And it was phenomenal. But why? Because I didn't get caught in the gossip trap. It's so easy to have a lot of people that want to share things with you, and you can just think you're building rapport and all that, but you're wasting a lot of time, you're gossiping, and you're hurting the company, hurting yourself in so many different ways. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up for today. And as always, remember not to gossip, and also remember to expect success. Thanks.